The Global Gaming League is presented by Atlas Earth, the fun cashback app.
Hey, it's Howie Mandel, and I am inviting you to witness history as me and my Howie Do It gaming team take on Gilly the King and Wallow 267's $1 million gaming in an epic Global Gaming League video game showdown, plus a halftime performance by multi-platinum artist Travie McCoy. Watch all the action and see who wins and advances to the championship match right now at globalgamingleague.com. That's globalgamingleague.com.
In partnership with Level Up Expo.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host and or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of the host and or Paranormal Buzz Radio and or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is prohibited. Paranormal Buzz Radio will not be held responsible for you holding your knees, crying, and rocking in a corner in a puddle of your own urine, or being beheaded by a group of children in a cornfield. In fact, if you come across a group of children in a cornfield, we promise to make fun of you as you run away screaming in terror. Listener discretion is advised.
Caution. You are now entering the all-consuming realm of Shay's Paranormal Chat, where the things that are better left unsaid are actually said.
Shut up and sit down.
You're listening to Shay's Paranormal Chat. Paranormal podcasting done Shay's way. Tons of fun.
Dude, seriously?
A bit sarcastic.
Hashtag investigator, not hunter.
But always real.
Hashtag data, not evidence.
Don't get your panties in a twist.
Oh my god, really?
This is real, raw conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Shay's Paranormal Chat. I'm your host, Shay Carroll. Happy Halloween. I hope everybody stays safe and has some fun tonight. I have a spooky story to tell you guys, a true spooky story at that. But first, a little housekeeping. I cannot believe we are actually at Season 8. It has flown by. I know last season was pretty short, and I just want to fill you guys in on a few things, and then I'll get to the Halloween special. I have been struggling with some serious medical issues, and I don't really want to get into that tonight, but I just wanted to let you know that I am happy to be back, and I am going to try to work to get out at least 1 to 2 episodes a month. And I just want to thank everybody for standing by me and all of us for so many years now. So I just wanted to say thank you and let you know that behind the scenes, I have been working on little changes to the show. So this season, I am going to be focusing on New Hampshire's haunted locations and urban legends. So I'll be doing that once a month, and hopefully I can get out another episode so I can do 2 a month. And we will see how that goes, but I am going to really try. So we have that, and Alice and I have been working for, I think, a little bit over 2 years on something really, really new for us, and hopefully that will be coming out very soon. It's been a long process, but it will be worth it. So, with that being said, let's get to our story. The night Halloween changed forever. Okay, picture this. Halloween, 1974. The O'Briens and the Bates family are just finishing up dinner. They're at the O'Brien's house, Deer Park, Texas. Now, normally the mothers would take the children trick-or-treating, but this year they're doing something a little different, and the dads are taking the kids. They each have 2 children, so the 2 dads and the 4 children are going trick-or-treating, and the moms are staying home to hand out the candy. And it's said that Ronald O'Brien was a little bit uninvolved in the children's lives. So he was trying to make up for it. So he wanted to spend some time with the kids. So they go and they're going house to house, trick-or-treating, and the kids are excited and they're having fun and everybody's happy. And so they go to, a bunch of houses and they're getting towards the middle and knock, knock, knock. Nobody answers and the light goes off. So the children get sad and they walk away, and it's said that they went to go to the next house, but that light was off. So then they did a few more and got some more candy, and the very last house that they went to, the light was off, but the children knocked anyways. And everybody knows if the light's off, that means there's no candy. Well, the kids got super bummed out because this was happening over and over to them. So Ronald says, wait, let me go back. I'll try. So he bang, 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 knocks on the door. No answer. Bang, 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 knocks on the door. And finally somebody opens the door and he says, I'm sorry, my kids, they really just want one last house. And he says, and the guy at the door says, here, this is what I have left. Take these 5 pixie sticks. Have a good night. Happy Halloween. So Ronald, feeling like, oh, I did it, goes back and he has something behind his back and he pulls them out and he says, look what I got. 5 pixie sticks. And the kids are all happy. Yay. So they ended Halloween on a high note. There's 4 kids, so he has 1 extra pixie stick. So he sees one of the other neighbors and he's like, here you go, take this. We have an extra. And I believe the 5th child was Whitney Parker. So Ronald and Jim take the kids home, and the Bates family, after a few minutes, goes back to their home. So the O'Briens, Ronald, Diane, his wife, and his 2 children, Elizabeth and Timmy, are there cleaning up. And the kids are all excited. They want candy. So the parents allow them to have, a few pieces of candy. And of course, it's Halloween. A few pieces of candy is never enough. So they're like, please, can we have another one? Can we have another one? So they said, okay, 1 more, and then it's time for bed. So they each get their candy. And Timmy, he picks the pixie stick. And he takes if you don't know what a pixie stick is, it's like a straw sealed at both ends, and it has powdered sugar, not powdered sugar. It has sugar, flavored sugar in it. So he opens the top and he pours a little in his mouth, and he's like, ew. This tastes gross. This is really bad. So his father hands him a drink and says, here, take a drink. Rinse out your mouth. And he's like, I don't want this. I don't want to finish it. A few minutes later, little Timmy's stomach starts hurting. And he's like, oh, my belly hurts. And the mom's like, oh, I told you ate too much candy. But then it really starts hurting. And he starts vomiting. And continues to violently vomit. He starts crying and screaming, and he's vomiting and holding his stomach, and he starts having seizures. So Ronald is holding his son as he's crying and vomiting. His wife calls for help. But within a few minutes, poor Timmy stopped breathing. And by the time the paramedics came, it was too late. He was pronounced dead at the hospital 1 hour later. And the hospital does some more testing, and come to find out, Timmy was poisoned with cyanide. So the police are now collecting all this candy, and they got the 4 other pixie sticks. That's the only thing that Timmy ate that his sister didn't eat. Come to find out, the cyanide was in the pixie sticks. So the police are like, oh, where'd you get these? And they're talking to the 2 dads, because no other child in town had pixie sticks except for the 5. The 2 O'Brien children and the 2 Bates children, and then Whitney, the other neighbor that got the extra one. So they're questioning the dads, like, where'd you get these? Where'd you get these? And so Jim says, we got them on this street, I think. And Ronald's like, oh, no, I think we got them here. And then his story kept changing, and they were just trying to remember where they got it. And finally, Ronald, he's like, no, I know, we got them here. And the children were like, no, we got them from this house. Remember, you went up and you knocked on the door and you got them for us? And he's like, oh yeah, that's right, that must be the house. So the police go to the house, and they're questioning the homeowners, like, where did you get these pixie sticks from? We need to know, we got to get them off the shelves. And the woman that lives there is like, I didn't give out pixie sticks. And they're like, we already know you did, so just, where'd you get them? She's like, no, I was working. So now the cops are like, what? And her alibi, it checked out. She was at work. So now the police are like, what's going on here? So now they have to look into the dads. So let's start with Ronald O'Brien. Ronald was born 10/19/1944. As said, 8-year-old Timothy and 5-year-old Elizabeth was 2 of his only 2 children. And there was 2 different descriptions of him. One was, of course, ordinary. He looked like the picture-perfect family. But as we said earlier, he was not really involved with his kids that much, and was a very aloof, we'll say, to everything. He was an ophthalmologist. So over the past 10 years, he couldn't hold a job. He would just be let go over and over for many different reasons. He just wasn't a good worker. He had no work ethic. He had no ethics at all, from what it seems. And very slowly, they're finding out all this information. Like I said, at first it was like, oh, picture perfect family. And one thing after another turns out, yeah, not so picture perfect. In 1974, he owed over $100,000 in debt, which today, our money, that'd be over $600,000 in debt. So he slowly started taking out life insurance on his family members. First the wife, then Timmy, then Elizabeth, and then right before Halloween, he upped the life insurance on the kids. Now, this guy couldn't pay his bills. Why is he getting life insurance, right? We know where this is going, don't we? So this guy can't pay his bills. He's about to literally lose his house, lose his car, but yet not only is he paying for life insurance, but he ups it a few weeks before. Some say he did it 2 days before. Each kid had at least $60,000 life insurance policies out on them. They find out he was also asking around for cyanide poisoning. And the person that sold it to him remembers, because he was so upset that he had to buy 5 pounds of it. He just wanted a little. So the clerk remembered him. 5 days after Halloween, he was arrested. Now, not only was this guy willing to kill his 2 children, which she was hoping for both of them, but he also tried poisoning 3 other kids. Thank God, poor Timmy, but thank God none of the other children died. One of the children took their pixie stick and they were going to eat it, but they couldn't get the staple out. Back then it was sealed with a staple. And he fell asleep with it in his hand, allegedly. So thank God the other 4 children did not ingest it. Ronald O'Brien was found guilty of capital murder, 4 counts of attempted murder, with the jury only being out 45 minutes. And it was one of the quickest deliberations ever in Texas. He was sentenced to death, and in 1984 he was executed by lethal injection. So I was born in 76, and anybody that's from the 80s and even 90s, even today, but remember, it was crazy, even like 10 years later, which makes sense since it was 10 years, it probably came back up in the news. But in the early days of this, the hospital was doing free x-rays and of the candy, because you could no longer just allow your children to eat it. Everything had, parents had to go through all the candy and make sure, again, back then, things weren't sealed the same. So there was no safety procedures. And so if you ever wonder why there was so much craze in those days and why parents still to this day check the candy, it's because of Ronald, a cruel man that was willing to sacrifice his children for money, and for the hell of it, throwing 3 extra kids to get him off the scent. Kill him for no reason. Why not? So if you ever wondered why Halloween changed forever, or why it is how it is today, this is why. In a lot of circles, he's also known as the Candyman, not to be confused with the different killer Candyman, but he was the original Candyman. And it's very sad. I can't imagine hurting a child for any amount of money, never mind killing my children and then just for the hell of it killing other kids. I can't even fathom it. It is the saddest thing. And he wasn't even that smart. He messed up on so many levels. Like saying a guy answered the door when she lived there alone and she had an alibi. Like, thank God a lot of these murderers are stupid. Because a lot more would get away with it if they weren't so dumb. So that is the sad story of how Halloween changed forever. So tomorrow, check out my next Halloween bonus. I'm going to do a review of Aftermath. Something, again, different, something fun, Halloween related. Check it out. Guys, again, thank you for everything. And please like and share. And until the next time, stay safe.
The Bleacher Report app is your destination for sports. Right now, the NBA is heating up, March Madness is here, and MLB is almost back. Every day there's a new headline, a new highlight, a new moment you've got to see for yourself. That's why I stay locked in with the Bleacher Report app. For me, it's about staying connected to my sports. I can follow the teams I care about, get real-time scores, breaking news, and highlights all in one place. Download the Bleacher Report app today so you never miss a moment.
We believe everyone should know a good lawyer. Meet attorney Michael Noonan from Shaheen & Gordon.
The truth is, I can't solve everybody's problems. But as a personal injury lawyer, I can be there to help someone through one of the hardest times in their life. Seeing their relief and peace at the end of a case, it's the most humbling and gratifying experience every single time.
Our personal injury attorneys don't just fight, they care. Shaheen and Gordon, it's different here.